Hello everybody, I hope everyone is doing well. I thought it was about time that I did a sort of project update, project vlog on where I am with the first Crusade project, which has been moving along in the background while I've been sort of playing the other battles and doing more of my ECW stuff. Where it is actually moving along very fast. What I thought I'd do is I'd roll through what I've completed so far for the Crusaders and for the Saracens, and then show you some of the units that I've bought that I'm going to be adding in. Because we're nearly at the point where I think I can start to have a small game, yeah, I was quite excited, so I thought I'd show you where I was. So these are the painted units I have finished for the Crusaders. Now the one in the middle is the one you've probably already seen, which is just a standard unit of Crusaders using the Victrix Norman set. So you've probably already seen this one. And the unit at the front is basically more of the same. More Victrix Normans painted as to represent First Crusade troops. This is a base I'm really pleased with, and what I've tried to do, much the same, is they're about 5 or 6 to a base, and I've tried to model them so they're not necessarily in complete ranks, but you do get that feeling that they're in a formation and then maybe they're surging forward now to join battle. I really like this guy here with the sort of the faceplate on his armour. The Victrix models, again, very, very nice. Take the paint really well, and there's lots of lovely little details on there that you can sort of highlight to really make the model pop. Added some shields onto the base as well. So there's that one. Another base here. Added some colour to some helmets, and as well, you know, just adding that extra dusting onto the shields, which is the same method I use when I make the bases. So I try to use that to bring the whole base together. And on this one here, what I did, you can probably see on the base that I've raised the base slightly on this side. So when you're looking at it like this, the guy holding the banner and sort of calling the men forward is at a slightly higher angle, so it draws the eye slightly. So there we are, and I'm really pleased with how these have all come out. The shield transfers are the little big men studio transfers, and as are the flags. So once they're on though, I do like to weather everything up. So there's 2 standard units, although to be honest I treat these as bases rather than say units. So this could be 2 standard units. This is of course if I'm using Hail Caesar, or I could break them up slightly and we could have 3 small units and just do it that way. I don't worry about having command and everything like that in a unit. If it does have a command figure, great. If it has a flag, brilliant. If not, then you know, it's no big deal. So I try not to let that worry me. So each base is its own individual thing. I just stick them together as I want afterwards. The next thing that I finished is courtesy of Carl over at Mez's Miniatures. He very kindly sent me these, which are the Conquest Games mounted Normans. He had these spare and he basically sent them to me, saying he'd rather that someone got some use out of them. And I wanted to do some small units of cavalry. I know Victrix will be releasing their mounted Normans down the line, and I'll probably get some of those and some of the Caballero models as well. But these are lovely miniatures. I've never actually painted any of the Conquest Game stuff, but I'm really pleased with how they came out. So there we are. There's the first base. Exactly the same basing system as before, using big red bat bases, and then using this mixture of the AK Interactive desert tones to create a base, and then dry brushing and adding various flocks and stones and bits of debris to create that sort of sandy, rocky desert look, but not totally arid. I don't want it to be sort of, you know, a sort of deep Saharan kind of look. I still want there to be some plant life. So there we are. So what I've done here though, I've used the little Big Men Studio transfers because I couldn't be bothered to basically go and get, you know, 6 just for these. He has sent me another 6 as well, which I'm gonna do. And so the only thing is that the Conquest Games shields don't have a shield boss on them, and rather annoyingly, they come with the arm pre-molded, so the shield is pre-molded onto the body. So you could cut that off with some effort and just use a Victrix shield, but I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to risk doing anything to the model. So I found it easier to just put the shield transfer on and then make my own sort of shield boss out of modelling putty, and then just paint it. I thought that was a lot easier, and I'm very, very pleased with the results. So here we have one base of Norman cavalry, or Crusader cavalry rather, and we have another one here. So just more of the same, just trying to mix up the shield tones. I was one transfer short, so I just hand painted this one at the back. So just trying to mix things up a bit, trying to create nice looking miniatures basically that will look nice on the tabletop. So they go together. So far that would be a small unit of cavalry, and I've got an idea for the first scenario I want to play, and it would really go well with a small unit of Crusader cavalry on the board. So I've already sort of planning out what I want to do. Going forward, I've got enough sort of Victrix stuff to make another 4 of the units like you see at the back here. So I will be doing those at some point. However, as you will know if you watched the last project update video, I found and I really like the Caballero miniatures that are designed online, and you can get printed through various manufacturers, but I like to use Grey Green Customs, and I'll leave a link below to Grey Green Customs and also to Caballero miniatures on my mini factory. Now these are designed for use as Spanish for El Cid, the Reconquista period in Spain, which is pretty much the same kind of time, but they work perfectly well as Crusaders. And I was looking around thinking I need to add some ranged stuff in for the Crusaders, so I was looking at crossbows and at various manufacturers, and I thought, well, they're quite nice, but I don't know, I want some more character. And then lo and behold, it must have just heard me, and the December miniatures from Caballero were crossbowmen, and wow, just wow. So these are only on here with blue tack at the minute. I was just sort of playing around with sort of placement. There we go. Look at the detail in those faces. Lots of varied poses. And obviously as a casualty here, look at the detail on that, and at the quality of the printing from Grey Green is amazing. I mean, look, all of these have come single piece. I haven't added that in, so that arrow that's sticking in him, that's printed. These are how these come. So there's one base, very nice. I'll do the middle one in a second. Another one here, a guy reloading, putting the bolt into the crossbow. I really like as well that they've got bolt bags. They haven't just got, you know, quivers. They've got little ones there for their bolts. Another casualty been struck in the chest. And then this guy here who's sort of, you know, chucking away his crossbow and is in the process of drawing his sword. So I'm going to have a lot of fun painting these. These are what I'm going to be working on next for the Normans. I keep saying the Normans, but the Crusaders. And now, hopefully I can do this without this guy falling out. Now, there are 13 of these crossbows, and I could have just said, you know, could you print another 2? But I decided I didn't want any copies. But what I thought would be fun is to add this guy. Now, this guy is, he's actually meant to be Count Ramon II. But I thought it would look quite cool if he basically looked like a noble who had been told to, you know, quickly get those crossbowmen and take position over there, and he's quickly grabbed the crossbowmen and he's rushing forward with them to take position. So I'm going to put him on the base behind them. It looks like he's kind of giving orders, and you've got these chaps here, and again, look at the lovely detail on those faces. And then you've got this chap up here. Now, he did come with a shield, but I think I'm probably going to leave him shieldless. And you have the choice of whether or not you want him with a spear or with a sword. Now, he's probably going to fall over now. Please don't fall over. So that, plus the command base, which I showed in a previous video, will be, if you like, a division. That will be a brigade. So it will be 4 units strong, plus a command. So it should give plenty of options. But I still have a few other bits. But that's the Crusaders. Going forward, I'm going to build up some more of these and some more cavalry. But I definitely want to get my hands on some pilgrims. I think they will be a lot of fun. So there's the Crusaders. I will just pop these on one side, and I'll take out the Saracens, the Seljuks, and I'll show you where I am with them. Okay, so here is the Seljuk forces that I have made so far, and as you can see, haven't quite done as many of these as I have the Crusaders, but we're getting there. If you think we're talking 4 units aside, then I'm about halfway there for these. So I need 1 more unit for the Crusaders and 2 for these, and time for a small game. So this is what I've completed for these guys. We have just some spear-armed infantry, and we have bowmen. Now these are made from the Gripping Beast plastic Arab infantry set, and with that you get a decent amount of spearmen, and you get quite a few bowmen as well. And I've worked out I can make 3 units altogether, 2 spear and 1 bowman, and also add in a couple of figures. But what I've done here, they're very nice, simple sculpts. You got to do a little bit of work. Make sure you pop, you swap the heads around, and you can get enough variety. I decided to try and add the variety by doing different patterns, like this guy in the middle. I had to look at some sort of artwork that people have done of the period, and just tried to add in some little patterns onto the robes just to make them look a little bit different. So there's one base there. The banners again are from Little Big Men Studios, and I've varied sort of the heights of the banners on these, because if you've seen a film like Kingdom of Heaven, which I know is not hugely historically accurate, I do like just seeing a big field of flags, but if you've got them at varying heights, you'll see them all, so none of them are blocking each other out. So that was my thinking there. Here is the sort of command base, and in here I've added in some metal Griffin Beast command figures, which I picked up as well, just to complement them. There we go. So overall, very nice miniatures. Now, if you want to sort of vary them, you can mix them with the other sets, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Well, I'll tell you what, let's talk about it now, because I've got the archers next. So on the frame, you get 4 bodies which can be used to make the spearmen, and you get 2 bodies for the archers, which means that you end up with not a lot of difference going on. So as you can see, the archer bodies, you have these guys that you can kind of create with raised arms, or you have the ones who are sort of leaning forward. You can either be then modelled to be firing sort of directly forward, or doing something more like reloading. So first of all, as you can see, I've kind of followed the same philosophy. I've just tried to vary the tones and add decoration here and there to break the unit up a little bit. But what I decided to do, and you can see it best here, was I've used bits from the Arab Light Cavalry and Horse Archers set, which is this set here. It was an idea given to me by Leon T66, who's doing exactly the same project at the same time, which is really cool, so we can bounce ideas off each other. And he mentioned how he had used parts of the heavy cavalry and the light cavalry on his. So I went digging through here, and you have all sorts of various heads and arms, which are bow arms. So I decided to mix those in. So to create this little command stand here, I added in this head here to sort of give a sort of a leader look, and then also this guy here for the standard bearer, and then mix the heads across the units. So you have this guy here and sort of the fez. That bear head I think is from the late Roman sprue. I just found it in my bits box and remembered it was Gripping Beast, so I thought, why not? So there we go, we have a unit of archers complete. Now moving forward with them, obviously now I've got some Arab light cavalry. The cavalry units, I'm doing 3 bases to a unit. So here's the Crusaders, so a standard unit would just be 3 of these. And I just find that gives a little bit more variety. It means I can do a little bit more with them, and of course I get some spares. I'm not going to be ranking these up. So I've got 9 horse archers to do for them. And then also, as you can see, where are we? So I have more command figures in here, which I can add in for the next spear-armed unit. So there'll be 1 more spear-armed unit. And then there's this guy here. Now, I think he is sold as a priest. But he's going to be my first commander. And I really liked him. So he's got like a little knife. It goes like that. Thought he was a really nice figure. Now, this is a Gripping Beast metal. And he can represent Killage Arslan or Kerbo Kar, or, you know, maybe someone, maybe just want to, and it's some Emir. Just a, you know, Seljuk or Fatimid general, basically, who will be in command. But to go with him, I got these from Gripping Beast. I got these more for the pose and how they looked more than anything else. Oh, come on. Oh, it's done that thing where the top of the bag goes. There we are. Right. And he's going to have these guys sort of on the base behind him. So they'll be sort of ranked up behind him. Just sort of standing off slightly. And then he'll be at the front like that, shouting out some orders. So yeah, be working on him next. So next thing to do, stick together some more spearmen for these. Finish the crossbowmen for the Crusaders, and I think basically we're good to go for a game. There's of course quite a lot of things I want to add in for my sort of Seljuk and Fatimid forces, and that's, I want to use the camel riders that Caballero make. Now I know that they're probably more of a Berber thing and probably more relates to sort of like the sort of North African Spanish stuff, but I think that they will, I just want to have camel riders. I think it will look great. And of course, lots more cavalry, lots more horse archers. So that's where the project is at the moment. So in total, we have 5 units completed. We have 2 Arab units, and we have 3 Crusader units. But we're nearly there, and considering I'm sort of doing this while I'm working on other projects as well, I'm quite pleased. Unfortunately, I have now run out of shield transfers for the Crusaders, so I can't do any more for the time being. I will pick some up and we'll get going. Of course, another thing is I can always use these as you know, sort of mercenaries and friendly Seljuks and other members who were sort of like, you know, maybe in service to the Crusaders, because they did pay them off so they didn't attack them. So that potentially is a small force right there, which would be quite interesting. On top of that, I've been looking at Turkopol models, Byzantine models as well to add in. So the project is getting there, and of course I have also been looking for something suitable to do as the Walls of Jerusalem or Antioch, because I still very much want to do sieges. So right, so that's where we are at the moment. The only thing to add is that I did pick this up from Warfare. This is by Blotz, this Middle Eastern building here. I figured that you know, if I basically sort of render it up and you know, make it look, you know, suitable for the period, that it could be used with anything. It's got quite a big footprint, but I thought that would be a nice sort of central piece of scenery for our game. It's only £8.50 as well for all of that. So I'm going to build that up over Christmas, and then we'll be good to go. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this update. Sorry if it's rambled on a little bit. I'll keep you updated with everything. If you've got any questions, just drop them down below, and I'll see you guys all again soon in the next one. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you all later. Cheers.